Hi, I'm Haynes. I am the reference archivist at the National Anthropological Archives in the Department of Anthropology at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History. I'm here at ATALM 2017. I was part of a pre-conference workshop on finding Indigenous-Related Collections in the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of the American Indian, National Museum of Natural History, and the Library of Congress. And we just talked a little bit about how to begin archival research, where to find the repository you're looking for, and how to search online. And now we're going to dig into what to do, what to prepare, what to expect for actually conducting archival research on site. Okay, so you found the material you're looking for, you know where it is, but it's not online and you want to see it in person. What do you do? This is another time where I recommend you contact the archival staff before you visit, because every archives is different. There are usually different hours for visiting that are available, and some archives, like us at the NAA, do require appointments because of space. Maybe the research room is small, or staffing resources that are available. So you should see if there's appointments and how you might make an appointment. Archival staff can also help you figure out transportation and directions to the repository. Can you park on site? Do you need to take public transportation? Is it far away? Some archives also require you to request material ahead of time because some material is not stored on site. At the National Anthropological Archives, we have a few materials that are stored off-site and take about 3 to 5 business days to request. So we need those materials requested ahead of time. Some museums, archives, special collections also require an entrance fee or affiliation requirements to access. At the Smithsonian Institution and places like the Library of Congress and the National Archives, these are federal repositories, so they're free and open to anyone. So there is no entrance fee, but it's something you should ask for smaller historical societies and private organizations. You should also check with staff on if you can bring your camera, your laptop, notes, what's allowed in the research room so you can prepare ahead of time. Some archives, like the National Archives, also require pull times and a maximum amount of materials that a researcher can request each day. So you might want to check and make sure you get there on time so you can make sure to request the material you're looking for while you have a chance, and prioritize what you're looking for. Okay, so once you're there, what should you expect? What are the general rules, regulations, and procedures for accessing archival material on site? Again, every archives is different, and there are going to be some specific rules for specific organizations. For instance, some archives allow you to bring scanners in, some don't. We at the National Archives, National Anthropological Archives, do not allow scanners in the research room. But it just kind of depends. There are general rules and regulations, though, that apply to all archives. So this is sort of, you're not allowed to have food or drink. You can't have any pens or markers, bags, coats, things like that. Rules like this are put in place to protect the materials. So only pencils, no bags, no coats, so that nothing goes missing and nothing gets hurt while you're working with it, because this is such unique and rare materials. Most of the time when you visit an archives as well, you'll have to sign in, maybe at a front desk. You might have to possibly show some identification, just so that they have it on record that you came in and you made your appointment. You might also be directed to a locker where you can store your belongings, like your bags and your coats and your pens, and you can access them anytime during the day while you're doing that research. You might also, once you're there, sit down with a reference archivist and fill out some visitor forms and research agreements that go over just the basic user guidelines, which you can and can't have at the table, how many materials you can pull, if you can take photographs, for example. When researchers come to visit us at the National Anthropological Archives, and it's their first time there, I always sit down with them, go over these forms, and talk about the material that they're interested in, their research topic, and if we have other collections that might be of use. You should also try and keep track of your research, however fits your needs. I always suggest that researchers take pictures, which again isn't allowed at every archives, but is at the National Anthropological Archives. Take notes of what you saw, keep track of citations of collections so that you can reference back in the future, and so can staff if you need help in trying to figure out what you saw, when you saw it, or if you ever want to publish or do any more research on that topic or on that collection. Once you're completely done researching in an archive and you're exiting the building, keep in mind that at many repositories, security will check your belongings, look through your bag to make sure that you're not taking home any archival material with you. So these are just some things to keep in mind as you conduct archival research, as you begin to dive into the archives. There are many, many wonderful materials that hold a wealth of information, not just for general history or knowledge, and not just for scholars, but also to help in language and cultural revitalization, which is always something that we prioritize here at ATALM.